The Alchemist is a short novel first published in 1988. It was written in Portuguese but has been translated into over 80 languages. It's one of the most read and most loved books in the world. The author, Paulo Coelho, uses simple language to tell a magical story, and anyone, young or old, can understand and its message. The story is about a young shepherd named Santiago, who lives in the countryside of Andalusia, Spain. He's just a simple boy who enjoys traveling with his sheep. But one night, he has a strange and powerful dream. In the dream, a child tells him that there is a hidden treasure buried near the pyramids of Egypt. Santiago becomes curious and wants to know if the dream means something. He meets an old man named Melchizedek, who says he is a king. The king tells Santiago that everyone has a special destiny, something called a personal legend. It's what you are meant to do in life. He also gives Santiago 2 magical stones that help guide him when he feels unsure. This meeting gives Santiago the courage to follow his dream. Santiago sells his sheep and begins his journey to Egypt. But almost immediately, things go wrong. He arrives in a big city and is robbed of all his money. He feels sad and lost, but he doesn't give up. To survive, he finds work at a crystal shop. At first, he just cleans the glass, but soon he helps the shop grow by sharing new ideas. The shop owner teaches him about patience, hard work, and how people often give up on their dreams too early. With enough money saved, Santiago continues his journey. In the desert, he meets an Englishman who is studying to become an alchemist, someone who can turn metal into gold. The Englishman is searching for the philosopher's stone, a magical item in alchemy. Through this man, Santiago learns about books, signs from the universe, and the search for deeper knowledge. Eventually, Santiago arrives at an oasis, a safe place in the desert with water and palm trees. There, he meets a young woman named Fatima, and they fall in love. Santiago wants to stay with her, but she encourages him to continue his journey, saying true love will wait and grow stronger with time. At the oasis, Santiago also meets the alchemist, a mysterious man who can turn lead into gold and speaks with deep wisdom. The alchemist agrees to guide Santiago through the most dangerous part of the desert. On the way, Santiago faces fear, danger, and even nearly loses his life. But the alchemist teaches him to trust in himself, listen to his heart, and understand the soul of the world, the deep connection between all living things. Finally, Santiago reaches the pyramids of Egypt, only to discover that the treasure is not there. Instead, he learns from a man that the real treasure is back in Spain, at the exact place where he had the dream in the beginning. Santiago returns home and digs under a sycamore tree near an old church, the same place he slept when the journey first began. And there, he finally finds the real treasure, gold and jewels. As Santiago begins to take his dream more seriously, he meets a mysterious old man in the town square. The man introduces himself as Melchizedek, the king of Salem. He doesn't look like a king. He wears a simple robe and sits quietly on a bench, but he seems to know things about Santiago that no one else could. Melchizedek tells Santiago something very important. When you really want something, the whole universe will help you to achieve it. He explains that every person on Earth has a personal legend. This is your true purpose in life, the thing you are meant to do, the dream you were born to follow. But the sad truth, he says, is that most people never follow it. They are afraid of failure, of change, or of losing what they already have. So they settle for a life that feels safe instead of chasing what truly makes them happy. The king says Santiago is lucky. He's still young, and he still hears the voice of his heart. Melchizedek wants to help Santiago start his journey, so he gives him a gift: 2 small stones called Urim and Thummim. One is black, and the other is white. Santiago can use them to ask simple yes or no questions when he doesn't know what to do. It's a way to help him trust himself and stay on his path. Encouraged and excited, Santiago makes a big decision. He will sell his sheep and use the money to travel to Africa, where his dream says the treasure is buried near the pyramids of Egypt. He's nervous, but he feels a new sense of purpose. Santiago crosses the sea and arrives in Tangier, a city in northern Africa. It's loud, crowded, and completely different from what he's used to. He doesn't speak the local language, and he feels alone and out of place. Soon after arriving, a man offers to help him, but instead steals all of Santiago's money. Just like that, everything he had is gone. At first, Santiago feels shocked, heartbroken, and hopeless. He sits alone and cries. He starts to wonder if the dream was just a mistake. Maybe he should have stayed in Spain with his sheep. But then he remembers what the king told him: "You must not stop once you start." Santiago chooses not to give up. He decides to find work and rebuild what he lost. Eventually, he finds a job at a small crystal shop that sells glassware and ornaments. The shop is dusty, old, and not doing very well. The owner is kind, but tired of life. At first, Santiago just cleans the glass and does simple chores, but soon he has new ideas to help the shop grow, like placing the glass on display outside to attract more customers, and offering tea in crystal cups to bring in more business. At first, the shop owner resists these changes. He is afraid of taking risks, but over time, he sees that Santiago's ideas work. Sales improve, and the shop begins to do better than ever before. During this time, Santiago learns some important lessons: that small steps can lead to big progress, that fear of change holds many people back, that patience and effort are powerful tools, and that sometimes we are tested before we are rewarded. He also learns that many people, like the shop owner, once had dreams, but gave them up because of fear or comfort. After working there for almost a year, Santiago has saved enough money to either go home or continue chasing his dream, and this time he chooses to move forward, because now he truly believes in his personal legend. After many weeks of traveling across the hot, dry desert with a caravan, Santiago finally arrives at an oasis, a peaceful green place full of palm trees, fresh water, and life. It's a safe resting place in the middle of a harsh, endless desert. For a moment, it feels like the journey might be over. While walking through the oasis, Santiago meets a young woman named Fatima. She is beautiful, gentle, and kind. The moment Santiago sees her, he feels something deep in his heart, something he has never felt before. He realizes, almost instantly, that he is in love. As the days pass, Santiago talks to Fatima, and they grow close. He tells her about his journey and his dream of finding treasure. Santiago begins to wonder if maybe the treasure isn't gold or jewels, but love. He starts thinking about staying at the oasis and building a life with Fatima. But Fatima, wise beyond her years, says something powerful. She tells Santiago that true love will never stop you from following your dream. She says that if he is truly meant to find the treasure, he must go. And if they are truly meant to be, love will wait. In fact, it will grow stronger with distance and time. Her words touch Santiago's heart. It's hard to leave her, but now he knows. Love is not a cage, it's wings. While at the oasis, Santiago also hears rumors about a mysterious man who lives in the desert, someone people fear and respect. This man is known as the Alchemist. The Alchemist is no ordinary person. He is wise, powerful, and can perform a rare and magical task. He can turn lead into gold. But more than that, he understands deep truths about life, nature, and the soul. Santiago meets the alchemist, and to his surprise, the man agrees to guide him through the most dangerous part of the desert, the final stretch of his journey. But this is not just a physical path. It's also a spiritual journey. As they travel together, the alchemist teaches Santiago to trust in his heart, even when it's afraid. See beyond the surface of things. Understand the idea of the soul of the world, the deep, invisible connection between all people, animals, and nature. The alchemist explains that everything in the universe has a purpose, and all things are connected. If you listen carefully to the world around you and to your own heart, you can learn everything you need to know. As they cross the desert, Santiago and the alchemist face serious danger. They are stopped by tribes at war, and Santiago's life is at risk. He is tested by fear, doubt, and even the threat of death. At one point, the alchemist tells Santiago he must perform a miracle to save himself. He must turn himself into the wind. Santiago is confused. He has never done anything like this, but the alchemist believes he can. This challenge forces Santiago to go deep within himself, to trust in the soul of the world, and truly believe that he is connected to everything around him. And incredibly, he does it. Santiago becomes the wind, not in a magical fantasy way, but in a spiritual, symbolic way. He realizes that when you have true faith in yourself and in the language of the world, nothing is impossible. After months of traveling through deserts, crossing borders, working in strange places, and learning about life, love, and the soul, Santiago finally arrives at the pyramids of Egypt. It's a breathtaking moment. The giant stones stand tall under the stars. Santiago falls to his knees, filled with emotion. He believes he is finally at the place where his treasure is buried, the treasure he saw in his dream. He begins to dig, full of hope and excitement, but as he digs deeper and deeper, he finds nothing. Just then, a group of men appear. They are thieves and they attack Santiago. They beat him and take what little he has left. As he lies on the ground, hurt and weak, one of the thieves laughs and says something strange. "You're a fool. I once had a dream, too. In my dream, there was treasure buried under a sycamore tree back in Spain, near an old church. But I'm not stupid enough to travel across a desert for a dream like that." At that moment, Santiago's eyes fill with tears, not of sadness, but of understanding. That exact tree, that exact church, that was the place where he had his dream in the beginning. The treasure wasn't here in Egypt after all. Santiago now knows what he must do. He returns home all the way back to the countryside of Andalusia, Spain. He walks the same roads he once took as a shepherd. Everything looks the same, but Santiago is no longer the same. He is wiser now, stronger. He knows his heart, and he knows the world. He goes to the old abandoned church, the one where he first had the dream, and walks to the sycamore tree where he had once slept. This time, with quiet confidence, he begins to dig, and finally, he finds it. Buried beneath the roots is a box full of gold, jewels, and precious treasures. The Alchemist isn't just a story about finding treasure. It's a story full of deep, beautiful lessons that can help us in real life. Let's talk about some of the most important messages from the book. Every one of us has a dream, something we truly want deep inside. Maybe it's to travel, to create, to help others, or to live a life full of purpose. In the story, Santiago has a dream about treasure, but that dream is really a message from his heart. It's calling him to go on a journey, to grow, and to find out who he really is. The book teaches us, don't ignore your dream. Even if it feels far away or difficult, it's worth chasing, because your dream is part of who you are. Sometimes we get scared. We doubt ourselves. We listen to other people instead of listening to our own heart. Santiago learns that the heart doesn't speak with words, it speaks with feelings. And even though the heart can feel fear or pain, it also knows what we truly want. The message is simple. Trust yourself. Your heart is like a compass. It points you in the right direction if you're brave enough to listen. Santiago thought the treasure was the goal, but in the end, he realizes something bigger. It was the journey that changed him. The people he met, the things he learned, the fears he overcame, all of that made him stronger and wiser. So the book reminds us, even if we don't get exactly what we hoped for, the experiences we gain along the way are a treasure themselves. There's a famous quote from the book, "When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it." This means that when you truly go after your dream with a full heart, things will start to fall into place. You'll meet the right people. You'll find the right path. But first, you have to believe, and you have to take that first step. In the story, Santiago falls in love with Fatima. At one point, he even thinks about giving up his journey to stay with her, but Fatima tells him something powerful. True love doesn't stop you from following your dream. It supports you. It waits for you. It grows with you. That's real love. Not something that keeps you small, but something that helps you grow. So if you have a dream, no matter how big or small, don't ignore it. Start your journey. Take the first step. And remember, the treasure may not be far from where you started, but without the journey, you'll never discover its true value. Thanks for listening, and I hope this episode inspires you to follow your own path, just like Santiago. So, what do you think? What stood out to you in this book? Let's comment.